Okay, so I'm gonna try this out. I can't make any promises. I'm not doing it in my own strength anyway, but I really can't make any promises. But I need to do this for myself as much as anyone else who may have been affected by people misusing the Bible and scriptures. Primarily, I was doing this prayer for misuse of Simon Peter Simon, who's, I think he was called Paul then. And basically it's a reversal to literally infiltrate someone's life, take over the life, take over their identity, switch with them, so that would be the positions of 1, 2 and 3 if you think of the triangle. So 1 being Simon, 2 being Peter, 3 being Paul. So Simon, Peter, 1, 2, beginning and end, 2, 1, end, beginning. So it's like a switch, if you think of it as having 2 building blocks, 1 in your left hand as being red, 1 in your right hand as being yellow. And then the red one in the left would be number 1, the yellow in the right would be number 2. Simon Peter would then switch to yellow in the left, red in the right, Peter Simon. So you end up with the opposite. And it's how they steal, kill and destroy. And then Paul, I think it was Paul, I'm sorry if I'm wrong with that, it'd be, I don't know much on scripture, it'd be the identity, what they've given you someone else's identity because they've stolen yours. So they split people's heads because they've split all the stuff, their assets. This is how they can use fraud on banks, and this is how they separate businesses and people. How like people like myself get done for things what they've not done, or accused of it at least. I only know this because I've lived it. I wouldn't speak it if I didn't. People may have different points of view. I can't tell you 100% who's done this to me. There's been so many different things that's been done to me over the past year since I went in that place. There was stuff going on before, but not on this level. They say in that Satan attacks the mind. Well, it shows that it's Satan attacking mine, which is them. So I'm gonna just accept the fact that this might not do anything, and I can only literally hope it will. There's no way on earth I'd ever go back anywhere near anywhere like that. I do believe that all people subjected to this because they're in a dream, and this has been the scariest thing. Like I've been literally present all the flipping time with, even in the torture, literally with it, and not been able to do anything to get out of it. I'm being accused of being mentally ill, which is, I could swear right now. I'm sick of it. It's them who's mentally ill. I would never ever do anything like this to a person. They really, really, really need serious help. And I hope that the delusions, because it says like, that God will put strong delusions on people. I'm not in delusion. I couldn't be anyway because of what they've done to my head, in all fairness. But I'm just going to pray, so you can join me if you want. First and foremost, I just invite God in sourcing, Christ if it's not going to go against me. I invite Buddha in as well, and I'm just inviting in those of the highest divine light and the highest divine light in the light only. I'm asking that no one can use this as a mirror, because that they like mirroring, so that it literally zeroes everything out so no one sees anything, hence why no one sees my stuff. But because I ascended and moved beyond things and felt the connection of everything, it really doesn't matter what they do, it still gets to where it needs to go, just maybe not through me. So I just want to pray that higher forces can step in, divine intervention be done. I just pray that anywhere where anyone's made someone war in the mind, duel in the mind, whether it be through spirits, whether it be through people, whether it be on the outside through people, whether it be splitting families up, whether it be splitting you up from workplaces, whether it be stealing from you, whether it be using robotics or AI technology or anything they can because you've not done what they wanted you to do. You haven't done what you've been told. You're not a good girl. You're not a good boy. If you've not done what you've been told, so they keep trying to put it on you, or they've put someone on you and tried to make two into one, which is not what that is. Let me add, that is not what that is. I ask that that be separated from you now, and that you are your true self, your true identity, which you were born as, which we should all rightfully be as we are born when we come into this earth. Not someone torturing you to be crying like a baby. That is not rebirth. That is not what that is. And if I have any power in the spirit still, I pray that they do go to purgatory or whatever it's called, because that's where they deserve to go in divine will. I pray for healing over every single person who needs that healing, including myself. I pray for the removal of AI technology or robotics and the persecution of the people who are actually allowing this to happen in humanity, because that should not be allowed. They're getting away with everything because they've stolen people's ascension, and they're up there and they shouldn't be. They've made people who've actually risen fall because they've tortured and traumatized them, and that isn't okay. May we all be in our rightful places. I pray that everyone who's literally been stolen from when they use steal, kill, destroy, when they do that, because men can overpower women, and even if a woman friends a person and he decides that he's not with her, he can just overpower her and steal, kill, destroy, and then humiliate her and harm her and defile her and make it look like it's her. And that's not okay. And it's not just women. I'm not biased with men and women. I just don't like being mistreated, and I don't like seeing other people being mistreated, which I'm seeing a lot of. I just pray that if I must fall, that it's for the right reasons. I don't know whether I can because I ascended, so I'm not really sure. But quite honestly, I just want to be in respect for myself. So anyone who else has had the lineage destroyed by religion and religious people, or people misusing the Bible, whoever's done it, anyone who's had literally the creation stolen and then them destroyed or being called mentally ill so that the other people can look like really clever and wise, who's not had that experience, and where have you got your wisdom from? Who shouldn't have access to that wisdom, may I add. That's why you didn't have it or receive it in the first place. May that be took off them, and may an example be made of them. May the light shine on them that they are frauds and that they've stolen and thefted from people who didn't really have much anyway, because wise people don't tend to have much. I don't think it's meant to be that way, may I add. Sorry that my speech is a little bit funny. Something's trying to override my speech at the moment, and I am trying to fight tooth and nail to actually keep part of myself here so that I'm not took over by whatever it is that they've put on me. So I'm just praying. I want to invite the peace of Christ in, if you're still working with me, and just to show us a sign that you're here, because I actually give up hope at this point. They've literally turned me against Source to a certain degree. I know that what I've experienced is a constant. So like, it's unexplainable. So it's not like a person who can come in and rescue you. When the scales tip and they're meant to, then nature tends to take over. But people have been manipulating that using these things, and that's not okay, and that's not the key. That's why I've not received justice. I was meant to receive justice this time, actually, for what's happened to me in my life, and they reversed it again and put me backwards. And I've experienced both sides, unfortunately, because one of my parents is the other way around to the other. And I've been seen as the opposite of what I am. And I've had to experience both sides. And what I can explain with this is, like, when I got my belly button pierced, they did it wrong the first time and then right the second time. When I got a tattoo, they did it wrong the first time, then did it right the second. And my whole life has flipping been like this. It's horrific. And this is literally because of my parents and how they brought me up. It has been a nightmare because I have literally lived both sides. I'm not split. It's because they was together split. So I was in the middle of it all constantly. Along with the third party as well. So there was 3 against myself who was a child, and it was very difficult. I didn't even know that they used the Bible, if I've got to be honest. I never got brought up in a religious background at all. Not in the slightest. But I realised that it was being misused against me because I've lived most of it. And that's the only reason I know certain things. And that's not okay. I never chose to be christened. So we're literally being christened and brought into these stories. Now, Source had been guiding me a lot with a lot of different things. And I had my own story, what was being brought out there with all the different miracles and things and the stuff what had been shown to me. It was incredible. Like, I can't explain how humbled I was by it. And how I was healing the lineage and the things that had gone on, because a lot of it was generational. And a person from the church took matters into their own hands by judging me and thinking that he knew better than God. And that's not okay. So anyone who's gone through anything like that, I hope and I pray the source, God, divine, Christ, whatever you believe in truth, comes into your space and heals you. I pray that you get the healing you need, the deliverance that you need, the justice that you need, the people that can support you, genuine support. And I mean the support you need, not what other people think support, without having to go to the bottom. I hope that you can get them blocks removed. If someone's put a block in your way or reversed you so the exit's the entrance and you can't understand it because your mind doesn't work that way. If they're messing with your head and they're switching you from left and right brain, switching you from analytical to intuitive, if they're trying to hurt you or harm you, if they've attacked your head with a laser and cleared your mind, whatever they've done, if they started putting gall on you, if they started speaking madness over you, if they've started to put conflicting viewpoints on you to try to make you Simon Peter or whatever their version of what they think that is, if they've put spirits in you and defiled you, if they've done all these things, I pray that you're guided divinely to how to get out of this. I pray that you're given the keys and the skills that you need to get out of this. I pray that if you're meant to rise, that you rise and no one can hold you down. I pray that if you're meant to suffer and face judgment, that it is actually by the divine and not by people. I pray that if someone's meant to go down, they have to go down and they can't keep swapping and reversing with women and using the misuse of power, because we have no rights in the patriarch as women. I pray that if you're gay, that you're accepted. I pray that you can accept yourself. I pray that you can remove any trauma from yourself. I pray that any disfiguring of men, women, transgender, gay, black people, white people, all colours, all races, anyone. I pray that 100% that you get the resolution that you need. I pray that people who are in delusion, I pray that people who aren't seeing, if they're psychotic, if they're going through this, they can accept the self. I pray that they get the help that they need. I pray that they can move out of that with ease and grace. I pray that those people who have been messed about with and made to look like that and they're not, there's actually those things coming into the life, get the evidence they need without people hacking the phones and deleting everything like they have with every single phone I've had. I have had so much evidence, it's unreal, but it's all been destroyed. May the evidence against me be destroyed as well, because that's only right and that is legal. I think if someone's walking into a court case and they've been watched for 1 or 2 years, it should be destroyed. That's not evidence, that's stalking. May we have equal evidence, and may it be non-biased, which means that they're not just watching one person, they're watching all people with a non-biased approach. Non-biased approach, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the middle. It moves. I pray for the greater good. I pray for the greater good. I pray for the greater good for all. I pray for the greater good for the legal system. I pray for the greater good for the government. I pray for the greater good for religion. I pray for the greater good for men and women. I pray for the greater good for spirituality. I pray for the greater good for business. I pray for the greater good for every aspect of life and everything and everyone that is in life. That we can come together somehow, even if we have to be apart, and be in the correct position and places and order that we're meant to be. If we're meant to be in divine order, I pray that we come back to that divine order. If we're meant to be in structural order, I pray that we come back to that structural order, but may we not cross our paths in the wrong way. I'm meant to be divinely ordered, and I pray I come back to that. I pray for the greater good. I want to send so much love to every single person, even the ones that have caused me harm. Because that's who I am. Even if you've defiled me and made me act different, I know who I am. Whether you do or not, that doesn't really matter anymore to me. I've been pushed beyond something that could never be explained. I don't think you can heal from torture, if I've got to be honest with you. But it's taught me a lot. And that's that sometimes there's evil in the world and there is no love where evil is. So I just ask for the divine to stay with each and every single person that hears this, or whether it comes through in a way that is not by you viewing it, but you need it, because I know that a lot of people have been abused by religion or the misuse of the Bible or each other. You bear in mind the stories of the Bible is basically allowing abuse between people, and if people are in a story, in a dream, or whatever you want to call it, they're not necessarily choosing for themselves. And we should always be able to choose for ourselves. I believe that. That's my values, it may not be yours. May anyone who's had the Ripper put on them, or anyone putting spirits or hacking the nervous system or breathing or anything of that nature, may that be lifted off them now. We don't want a section on our house, a section on our mind and be put in care, and then a section of our body because it says so in the Bible. May we be delivered from these things. May people come into our lives to protect us. If we've got so many people set against us because you've got some criminal person trying to harm your life and turning everyone against you because they know exactly how to do it, may there be some people who actually want to stand for you and get you out of this mess because they can see what you can't. You see, we don't all see the same when we're not all facing in the same direction. And that's the problem, is like, if you can't see what's in front of you, if they've cut you off from source, if they've cut every single one of your gifts off, if they've cut your intuition off, if they've forced you to be more male, and they've tried to possess you, you don't stand a chance. So may people who are actually for us, and may we know the for us, may we be given crystal clear signs, not manipulated signs, but actual true signs. May we be given those to know who we can trust if we've had our mind blocked, or broken, our body broken, our systems broken. I just pray for the greater good for everyone, regardless of my views on things. I genuinely do. Amen.